Right, so under very challenging conditions, which are the VP-1 is on top of a very tall keyboard stand.
Yes,
but it does say do not touch, so I guess we're getting some sort of
No,
concession.
no, it's try playing for yourself.
Oh, it does.
If you are tall enough. You have to be tall enough to ride this ride. It's like a Blackpool.
That's awesome. The VP-1, basically, I mean, there was like, what, 2? Did it not make it into production, or did it?
Well, we didn't sell it in the United States, so there may have been a handful of them that were sold in Japan. I don't remember if they sold it in Europe, but
it's very, very
it's
rare.
very, very rare. Yeah, it never really came into full-on production. So, but it was a cousin of the VL1 in that it was a physical modeling synthesizer. And it was more based on plucked instruments, cymbals, mallets, that sort of thing, and also the ability to kind of set up scenes of parameters and then morph through them in real time. Really advanced, and it makes really unique sounds.
So this guy's polyphonic, right, as well?
Polyphonic, it's 16-note polyphonic, and you notice at the back each element set has its own stereo output, and there's tons of controllers you can plug into it. You can shift through the scenes, which are basically little parameter snapshots. You can do that with a foot controller. There's foot controller 1 and 2. You have, of course, the 3 wheels, this modulation ball controller as well. And look at these quick edit features. So you have this LED panel. Hopefully the camera picks it up, but as I scroll down, so now I'm changing a different set of parameters: key follow, velocity sensitivity, portamento time, effect depth, LFO depth, a bunch of EG parameters. So sophisticated. Play it. Yeah, let's hear it already. All right. Changing through the scenes. And check this out, this is cool.
It's really unique, isn't it? What an unusual sounding thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this technology is kind of, I mean, when was it? It was the 90s, wasn't it? This was released?
90, well, the VL was 93.
But
so this was around the 94.
I'd imagine just even developing this level of DSP technology would be, because where were the tools for that? Because computers weren't all that powerful.
I always remember, like, the power of the VL was, at the time, they likened it to the top-of-the-line Macintosh Quadra or whatever it was, and it needed, I think the VL needed 2 of those, and this required 4 or something to make it run. So serious, and this was, you know, over $10,000, I believe, for the few that actually sold.
But now I saw a price that was quoted recently when sold in 2014 for 17,000 euros.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but, I mean,
they're so rare.
They are rare. Are there more programs in there? Can we have some more listens?
This is an interesting one. So we hear the pitch down, it's aftertouch. And this
That's
has
so 90s.
And the combination of controls. Yeah, see, there's something in there, that little quadrant.
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
That's all aftertouch. Right.
So I can imagine this thing must get quite hot with all that power going in.
Probably.
It really does.
And a 76-note keyboard, you know, breath controller input as well. So lots of ways to interact with the sound. And as I recall, I didn't work on this instrument, but I had access to one for quite a while. There was like this touch panel controller. You see there's like a Centronics, a 50-pin Centronics style controller. So that plugged into it, and there was a touch screen. And that was part of the programming interface to getting deep into the instrument. So it's pretty sophisticated. As you can hear, even now it has a really unique sound to it. A lot of crispy, transient type.
So why do you think it didn't kind of take? I mean, because again, this goes back to, we were talking earlier, do watch the other video about the kind of the investment that goes into sort of new technology, particularly with a large company like Yamaha.
Yeah.
Like the Electrones and the GX2, or GX1, sorry. And this, you know, must have represented an enormous kind of commitment.
And this was just a big think of the early to mid '90s. What were the important trends in synthesis those days? Sample-based things, trying to get authentic instrument sound. So finally you could have a piano that sounded realistic. Integrated sequencers, and this was totally different than this. This was pure.
But also very authentic to some sound, performance-wise.
Sure.
Are there any other patches did you find any more in there? No,
let's see.
We're asking Nate to really fly blind.
We're gonna.
'Cause
Yeah, I
you can't
can barely
see
even
you
see the
can't
screen,
panel.
but this
Very poor viewing angle.
This definitely says something, though. I know that. But like, I remember stuff like this.
Is that a train?
Oh, listen to that. Oh. That's with aftertouch, so it brings in.
That sounds like they were really going for the soundtrack. Or
Okay, some sort of filter.
Is that the modelling equivalent of typewriter in GM presets?
Yeah, or the footsteps, maybe?
Yeah, that's amazing. But there's
The thing to listen for, the DSP quality, even, we're what, 20, 30 years ago, and the reverb is still pretty nice.
Yeah, impressive stuff.
So, yeah, the VP-1, really interesting instrument, maybe a little too far ahead of its time, to be honest,
Yeah,
but
but
it's cool that we have one here in Innovation Road and can play it.
Yeah, beautiful. Nate, thank you so much for showing us.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers.
Yep.
See you soon.
Bye.